police force. Alongside his cheek, a long scratch encountered in the arrest of one Lee Oswald. Could you tell us something about the arrest, Officer McDonald?
Well, I arrested him in the Texas Theater approximately 2 p.m. on November 22nd, 1963. He was sitting third. And as I approached him, about a raised up in his seat, and he made this statement to me that this was it, and it's all over now. And he raised his hand and struck me in the face with his fist, and the struggle was on for the pistol. He reached for the pistol, and I reached with it at the same time, and we came out with it, and he snapped it at the time I pulled it out of his pants.
How did you get the scratch across your face?
Well, it was in the scuffle. I don't know
exactly how it occurred.
What caused you to go to the theater to pick him up?
We had information regarding that a suspect had entered the theater, and that
a person, a civilian, pointed him out sitting in the back of the theater and said that he had just came in and he thought that he was the one.
He was the one what?
That was trying to get away from the police.
Did you have any idea at the time you were given this call, at the time you entered the theater, that this might possibly be the man who had assassinated the president or had shot the president?
Well, we had a vague description of the person that did all the shooting, and the same description matched.
About how many people were in the theater when you scuffled with the suspect?
Approximately 10 or 12 civilians and numerous policemen.
Was there any crowd waiting outside when you came out?
Yes, there was. There was approximately 100 or 150 people outside.
And what were their sentiments? Was the crowd with you or against you or interested or disinterested?
Well, they were very angry at the suspect, and they seemed to be pulling for the police department.
They had indication that he had previously shot and killed a police officer, or they had indication that he was possibly the assassin?
Well, I would imagine it was both ways. They were sort of upset about the shooting of the president and then the connection with the police officer, and so they just figured it was all in one.
Were you anywhere, were you at the scene where Officer Tippett was killed?
Not when it happened, no. I arrived at the scene later. I was down at the Texas School Book Depository at the time that the call came out.
And you went from there to the scene of the shooting of the officer?
Yes, I did.
And from there you were directed?
I was directed first to the alley. It was reported he was running up the alley. Next we were reported that he was in the live area of Marsalis and Jefferson. I reported there, and that was a bogus call. And then another report came out that he was in the Texas Theater in the balcony.
Now, these reports were over the police radio, is that correct?
Yes, they were.
Any civilians along the way attempt to direct you toward him, or they say might have seen you went that way?
Yes, there were several civilians that were pointing, but the most important one was the one in the rear of the theater that pointed him out to me inside the theater.
We've had various reports that you did not know where he was when he suddenly stood up and said, well, this is it. But he had been pointed out to you prior to the time he stood up.
He had been pointed out, but I didn't know in my own mind that he was the person until I actually got to him. And he stood up and said, this is it, and it's all over now.
Well, from remarks made earlier by police officials, I understand that the weapon that he pulled on you, that you wrestled for, actually was loaded, and only a misfire perhaps saved your life.
Yes, it was fully loaded with 6 rounds of 38 ammunition.
And you examined the round that was under the firing pin later?
Yes, and it had a dent in the primer.
Indicating a very lucky police officer. Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Police Officer M. N. McDonald, Dallas Police Force.
Thank you.